All right, let's get straight to the point. I recently booked the same exact seat on the exact same flight for just $128, while the person sitting right next to me, who happened to be my cousin, shelled out a whopping $820 for her flight. Same day, same plane, same tiny bag of questionable peanuts that they give to you on the plane. How on earth did that happen? Because airlines, my friends, are running a multi-billion-dollar algorithmic shell game, meticulously designed to make you overpay every single time that you hit that search button and then book your flight. It's a digital maze, and they've been counting on you, not knowing their travel game. But today, I am pulling back the curtains. I am spilling the tea. So stick with me until the end, because I am going to show you the exact code words that they use to bury those cheap seats. And even more importantly, I'm going to arm you with 4 potent counter moves that could save you hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, in the next 10 minutes or more. Are you ready to beat them at their own game? Well, you might need a pen and a notebook, because this will be a masterclass jam-packed with hidden gems you probably never heard before, but will make your next flight cheaper and so much smoother than the one you took the last time. Let's dive right in. First, let's clear the air on some of the travel myths that you've probably heard a million times before, but that simply don't move the needle anymore. Not in this current time that we're living in. You know the ones: clear your cookies, or you absolutely must book on a Tuesday at 3 a.m. Honestly, airlines stopped caring about your browser history years ago. Their sophisticated pricing engines are looking at intricate demand curves, market conditions, and competitor pricing. Not the remnants of your Chrome browser cat. They're not interested in that. That Tuesday at 3 a.m. advice, that was relevant back in the day when human managers manually loaded fares into their system, often at the start of a new work week. But today, we're living in an era where AI-powered algorithms reprice every single seat on every single flight every few seconds. These systems are constantly monitoring bookings, cancellations, competitor fare changes, even major news events, to dynamically adjust their prices. If you're still diligently clearing your cookies and praying for cheaper flights on any airline, bless your heart, but you're essentially bringing a butter knife to a drone fight. It's not about outsmarting a human anymore. It's about understanding the algorithms. The truth is, the digital crumbs you leave behind are just a tiny and often irrelevant data point in their grand scheme of things. We need to think bigger, smarter, and way more strategically. So let's dive deeper, and picture this: a massive stadium with just 139 seats, but there are 7,000 eager people outside waiting, all waving their money, desperate to get in. The airline's primary goal isn't just to fill every seat. It's far more cunning than that. Their true objective is to extract the absolute maximum amount each individual passenger is willing to pay. And they're incredibly good at it. They achieve this masterful task by using 3 primary levers, all working together. And that's called dynamic buckets, or the fare class shell game. Every single seat on an airplane, despite appearing identical to the naked eye, lives within a specific letter bucket known as a fare class. Think of them as secret codes: Q, T, V, B, Y, M, H, K, L, S, N, O, X, and the list goes on. Each letter corresponds to a different price point and set of rules as well. Some are refundable, some aren't. Some earn miles, some don't. The cheaper letters like Q, T, and V are always the first to be allocated. As demand for a particular flight spikes, or as the departure date draws near, these cheaper buckets rapidly disappear in real time, even if the plane is still half empty. The airline's algorithm simply closes off access to those lower fare classes, pushing you into the next fare class and its more expensive bucket. You're not necessarily buying the last seat. You're buying the last available fare class for that seat. It's a constantly shifting inventory puzzle designed specifically to funnel you towards higher prices as quickly as possible. This is the heart of dynamic pricing. Prices fluctuate not just based on overall demand, but on the availability of these predefined tiered fare class. Now let's talk about something you may not have thought existed, and that's customer DNA or algorithmic personalization. This is where it gets really personal and a little creepy if you ask me. Airlines are meticulously collecting and analyzing an astonishing amount of data about you, and they call you the potential passenger. They know the airport you fly from. They know the type of device that you're using to search either MacBook versus an older Android phone. They know your past purchase history with their company, their airline, or the partner airlines. They know your loyalty status, even how quickly you click through pages on their website. All of this feeds into their pricing model. These algorithms are designed to create a profile of you, estimating your willingness to pay and how much you were willing to pay. Are you a business traveler searching from a corporate IP address on a high-end laptop? The algorithm might just conclude that you have a higher budget, and they will automatically bump up your ticket price by as much as $120 or more. Are you searching from an affluent zip code? It's the same story. This isn't just about showing you relevant ads. It's about context-specific pricing where two people searching for the exact same flight at the exact same time might see different fares based on their customer DNA. It's the subtle way that airlines manipulate the algorithm, and it's happening constantly, even right now. Have you ever heard of opaque routing or convenience premium? Well, let me explain that one. But first, here's a classic trick that will highlight this. A non-stop flight from Chicago to Miami might be priced at $380. But if you search for a flight from Chicago to Miami and then on to Orlando as a connecting flight on the same exact plane, that multi-leg journey could mysteriously drop your airfare to $210 instead of $380. Why? Because airlines bet heavily on your desire for convenience. They know that most people want the simplest, most direct route, non-stop. So they price that convenience at premium price. Yes, the price goes up for convenience. You better believe that. They assume that you'll pay for the direct flight instead of a connecting flight. And if you don't need to go to Orlando, you'll just book the Chicago-Miami direct. That's what they want you to do. But if you know the trick and if you understand how their pricing models value connecting flights versus direct routes, you can pocket a significant difference in savings by booking the flight to Orlando, but not actually going to Orlando. It's about leveraging the airline's own complex routing logic against them. So I'm teaching you now in this masterclass how to outsmart them so that you can keep more money in your pocket. All right, let's continue. Okay, so now that we understand their game, let's start flipping the script on them and outsmarting their system. The first counter move is leveraging geo-pricing, and it's surprisingly effective. Airlines geo-price, meaning they adjust fares based on the geographic location of where the booking is made. Let me give you a real-world example. I searched for a Denver to Barcelona flight from my home IP in Florida, and the price came back at $1,140. Then I fired up my VPN, switched my virtual location to Singapore. I refreshed the search, and boom, the exact same flight, same airline, same day, same seat was now priced at $712. That's a cool $428 saved with one single click. The reason this works, airlines sometimes dump excess inventory into specific international markets to fill connecting traffic or to stimulate demand in regions with different economic conditions. For instance, Scandinavian carriers might offer lower fares to Asian markets to encourage connecting flights through their hubs. Your pro tip here, do not pick a country that screams rich tourist, like Switzerland or the UK. Instead, aim for countries where the average income is lower or where there's fierce competition. Portugal, Malaysia, Mexico, Turkey, or even Eastern European nations often reveal significantly lower fare bases. Always open an incognito or private browsing window after you switch your VPN location. This ensures that the airline's website reinitializes your session with your new virtual location, so you don't tip them off. It's like giving your browser a fresh start in a new country. You got that? I hope you're getting value from this video. And if you want more underground airline secrets that I can't talk about here on YouTube, and you want to travel like a pro and travel cheaper, then grab my ebook bundle, 2025 Airline 2025. Let's just say that. Airline Secrets, Outsmarting the Airline from Booking to Boarding. Trust me, you wouldn't want to travel without this ever again. So grab it from the first link in the description. You will thank me later. Now let's move on to your second counter move, which I call the Greek island pivot. That's just my little thing. This strategy is all about understanding how airlines structure their networks and pricing, particularly in regions like Europe, Asia, and even North America. Europe's incredible web of budget airlines can turn major international hubs into surprisingly expensive islands if you try to fly directly to smaller, popular destinations. Want to fly straight into Santorini in July? You likely pay upwards of $1,050 for a non-stop flight from the United States. That's because the major carriers charge a premium price for direct access to those high-demand, tourist-heavy islands. Instead, this is what I want you to do to execute the Greek island pivot. Fly a flagship carrier like Delta, United, Lufthansa, etc. to a major, more accessible hub like Athens. These flights are often hundreds of dollars cheaper, especially if you can be flexible by a day or two. Think shoulder days like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Saturdays. You might find a flight to Athens for $550. Once you're in Athens, you then hop on a budget carrier like Ryanair, Aegean, or Volotea. Can never pronounce that for short. For short, expensive flights to Santorini. On the second leg, it could be worth just $38, and the total cost would be $588. I'm telling you, you will already be sipping ouzo by Caldera by the time you're done and you fly out. This same trick works wonders globally. Heading to Tokyo, fly into Osaka first. Sydney, try Melbourne first. New York City, sometimes flying into Boston or even Philadelphia and taking a regional train or bus can save you hundreds of dollars. The key is to strategically position yourself to a cheaper, less direct gateway city, and then let the regional carriers fight for the pennies on the final leg. You're leveraging the competition and the network structure against the premium pricing of direct non-stop routes. Counter move number 3 is the Google Flights X-ray, as I call it. Everyone uses Google Flights, right? But almost no one truly mines its hidden tabs and powerful features. It's more than just a search engine. It's a sophisticated intelligence tool, and you have to use it wisely and smarter. First, there's the Explore map. Instead of entering a specific destination in Google Flights search box, just set your departure airport or use United States for wider options. Then you're going to leave the destination blank and add a flexible date range, say flexible weekend or 1 week in November. Boom. Entire continents just light up, color-coded by price. I once found a round-trip flight from LA to Stockholm for an unbelievable price of $278, a route that Delta was listing at $712 on their website. This tool helps you discover destinations that you might not have considered purely based on price. It's about letting the deals dictate your destination. Let's just say that, rather than the other way around, rather than picking your destination first. Secondly, master the multi-city or open jaw search. Most people think round trip is the only way, but it's not. If you fly into London and out of Rome, Google Flights can brilliantly pair 2 one-way tickets on competing airlines, often slicing $200 or more off the classic round trip price. This isn't just for multi-destination trips either. It can sometimes be cheaper to book a multi-city flight, even if you plan to return from the same airport, simply because the algorithm finds a better combination of one-way flights. It's about breaking free from the traditional round-trip mindset. Yeah, you have to be flexible. Thirdly, effectively use the price tracking with the flip method. Let me explain. Set up a 60-day price alert for your desired route. Don't just book the first price that you see. Instead, wait until the graph dips below the 90-day average. Then be ready to book within 24 hours. The airline algorithms are designed to reward speed and decisiveness. When a low fare appears, it's often a momentary glitch or a strategic release by the airline so that they can test the demand. You need to be ready the moment that price blinks green. Google Flights will send you email alerts, giving you the heads up to strike when the iron is hot. That's how I put it. Counter move number 4 is the 24-hour risk-free lock. This one is powerful, yet underutilized. Consumer protections in the U.S. airline industry. If you book a flight, let me explain. If you book a flight directly with a U.S. carrier and your travel date is at least 7 days out, they are legally required to give you a full refund if you cancel within 24 hours of purchasing your flight, your ticket. This is a big deal. Here's the translation of how to take advantage of that. When you spot a rock bottom fare, one that makes your eyes widen, don't hesitate. Slam that booking button immediately. Lock in that price. And then guess what? You're going to spend the next evening or the next 23 hours triple checking your dates, confirming your hotel, coordinating with travel companions on all of that stuff, and doing any last minute research. If the price happens to drop even lower to like the next day, no sweat. All you have to do is just cancel your original booking and get a full refund, and then you would rebook at the new lower price. If, however, the price spikes, when it often does, you've already locked in your ticket and have now secured the best possible deal available. How about that for outsmarting those airlines? Let's move on. Think of it as a free call option on your vacation. It costs you nothing to hold the price for 24 hours. While European airlines aren't bound by the same strict rule, many of them voluntarily match it or offer similar flexible cancellation policies. But always look for a free 24-hour cancellation badge on the airline's website or check their specific terms and conditions before you pay. This counter move virtually eliminates buyer's remorse and allows you to act decisively on fleeting deals without having commitment anxiety. Now let's talk about a more aggressive tactic, and that's called skiplagging, or what some people know as hidden city ticketing. This involves booking a flight with a layover at your actual desired destination, meaning it will be your final leg and you wouldn't board the last flight on your ticket. For example, a flight from New York to Atlanta might cost you $420, a non-stop flight. But a flight from New York to Atlanta, then on to Dallas, could be $230. You book the cheaper one, that $230. It's a longer flight, and it simply gets off in Atlanta, skipping the final leg to Dallas. The reason this works is complex. Airlines often price connecting flights more competitively to fill the seats on less popular legs, or to compete with other airlines on these specific routes. However, a massive reality check is necessary here. Let me warn you, skiplagging comes with significant risks. First, it only works reliable for one-way travel. If you skiplag on the outbound leg of a round-trip ticket, the airline will almost certainly cancel your return leg without a refund. Why? Because you violated the contract of carriage. Secondly, you absolutely cannot check a bag, as checked luggage will be routed to the final leg in Dallas on your ticket, whatever the final destination is, not your hidden city where you're getting off. You must have carry-on bag only. Third, and most importantly, airlines hate this. They consider it a violation of their terms and conditions, and if they catch you, they can penalize you severely. This could mean canceling your flight without a refund, as I said, or charging you the difference in fare, or even canceling your frequent flyer account. That's how serious it is, and stripping you of all accumulated miles and status. Serious, so be careful. Here's my take on this. Use hidden city ticketing only for rare, expensive routes where the savings are substantial. Like it makes sense. Maybe $300 or more of savings. Never attach your frequent flyer number to those bookings. Never. Book as a guest to avoid linking your frequent flyer or your loyalty account. And again, never check a bag. Websites like skiplagging.com do the hunting for these opportunities. But you must understand that the risk is entirely yours to assume. It's a calculated gamble. And while it can save you a lot, it's not for the faint of heart or the inexperienced traveler. But by the time you finish watching my videos, you will be a travel pro, right? Here's where the real magic happens. One hack might save you $60, but two hacks cleverly stacked could save you $400. And three, you're looking at a truly jaw-dropping discount. The goal isn't to use just one kind of move. It's to combine them strategically, creating a multipliable effect, if there's such a word, on your savings. Let's walk through another example of how you could stack these counter moves. You want to fly from Denver to Athens, right? This is an example. Your initial search on Kayak shows $1,200. You switch your VPN to Malaysia, and suddenly Denver to Athens drops to $640. That's a $560 savings right off the bat. Use Google Flights Explore Map for positioning flight. Here's how you do it. You notice a great deal from Chicago to Athens for $550. You then use Google Flights to find a cheap positioning flight from Denver to Chicago, maybe for 6,000 United miles or a $75 cash fare. The open jaw return is another. Instead of flying back from Athens, you plan to travel through Europe. You search for an open jaw return from Rome to Chicago, which Google Flights finds for $28 cheaper than a straight Athens return. Do you get that? And now the 24-hour lock, you spot this $640 VPN deal, you quickly lock it in and then spend the next few hours confirming your positioning flight and open your return. Your total paid $640 for the main flight and $75 for the positioning flight, which is $715 on calculations. Or if you use miles, even less. Compared to the original $1,200 kayak quote that you got, you've saved a whole lot. This isn't theoretical. These are real savings achieved by combining tools that you already own. Your laptop, a VPN, Google Flights, and 2 fingers ready to click confirm. It's about thinking like a puzzle solver, not just a consumer. Each counter move is a piece of the puzzle. And when you fit them together, you unlock truly incredible value and savings. If you want more playbook pages like these that I just unleashed on you, because believe me, airlines update their code faster than TikTok trends, then you need to smash that subscribe button right now. This video was a masterclass, and not just about saving money, but about reclaiming control and traveling smarter. Airlines built a complex, intricate maze designed specifically to separate you from your money. I said it. But now we've just handed you the map and the strategies. And switch, gateway pivot, the X-ray for our risk-free lock, and by understanding the risk of tactics like hidden city ticketing, you take the power to stack these strategies and ensure you never pay retail price again. The next time prices jump, while you're innocently sipping your coffee, don't despair. Instead, just smile, because guess what? You'll know exactly where the cheap seat is hiding, and you'll have the tools to grab it, right? Remember to pick up the ebook I mentioned from the first link in the description if you want to hear those juicy secrets that I can't mention on YouTube. It will save you tons of headaches when you're flying. And wait until you see the next video coming up. 15 hidden flight tricks that airlines are keeping quiet about in 2025. That's another video you don't want to miss. So make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. And safe flight, will you? Share this video with a friend who may be traveling soon. Thank you also. Thanks for watching.